phone on silence because, no.
Do you feel fabulous?
That's an amazing question. Wow.
Amazing. So today we're going to talk all about manifestation. And before anyone clicks off, give it a chance because we have the amazing Gara and she's going to talk all about her experiences with manifestation and how she's a manifestation coach and content creator and what it even means, because I feel like this word is thrown around a lot on the internet today. So let's talk about it. Gara, can you please start by introducing yourself? Okay. It's amazing to have you.
Good, no? My name is Gara Real. I'm a bit nervous. This is new to me. It's my first interview, okay? And this is something that I manifested as well. So I don't like to call myself a manifestation coach because for me it's something that even myself, I don't understand what that is. But in 2024, I started talking about manifestation online. Prior to that, I was a fine arts student in college, in university in Spain. And in 2022, yeah, that's when I started making content. I started talking about how I came to London, how all of that happened, me coming from Spain, going from waitressing to being on social media. And the process of me talking about this thing reinforced the belief that manifestation is real, that your thoughts create your reality. And I ended up in here today.
Incredible. So you moved to London in 2019.
Yes.
And you didn't really have social media until 2022. So what made you download all the social media and kind of go into content creation? What drove you into like the manifestation scene?
Okay, so as I said, I was doing 9 to 5 for a long time. From 2019 till 2022, it was just working, looking for another job after another job. But in every job, my favorite thing to do was talking to people. And talking to people in a sense of, come on, you need to believe in your dreams, you need to trust yourself. Because even when I was working in things that were not specifically what I liked, I always had the ability to be super grateful. And I was already manifesting. When I got my job in JD after COVID, that was my dream job. Like, I love sneakers, I love fashion. I was like, whoa, this is my dream job. When I got my job in the cinema, it was my dream job. When I worked in vintage, my dream job. So I remember I was working in a cinema making hot dogs. And I remember talking to the people like, you know that manifestation is real, right? Like, all of these things. And people were like, wow, I love how you talk about it. And one day I said, this doesn't match. Me talking about you can build the life of your dreams, but I'm here talking like I'm talking about it in a space where I am not considering myself to be in the life of my dreams. So I need to take the next step. And I said, I'm going to leave my job from one day to the other and I'm going to fully dedicate myself to social media because I know I have the energy to do it like I knew it. All of this, I knew it before it happened. And it's something like I had to, like, leaving that job in that moment forced me to take social media seriously. And then it didn't, I couldn't fail because I went all in.
That's incredible. And before we talk a little bit more about that and your journey and how you had the faith to just like take a bet on yourself, I want to talk a little bit more about what is manifestation, because I'm assuming that most of the girlies that click onto this video already like it, have some experience. But to anyone who's watching who is a skeptic or doesn't know what it is or feels like it's just this word that's thrown around and it's like a new age spirituality, what is manifestation for you?
Okay, so you know when you think of a car, like a car that you like, and you start seeing it everywhere. So manifestation, and this is the meaning that I give to it, because I know some people is like, I wake up in the morning at 10 a.m. and I manifest. No, okay? Manifestation happens every second that you are aware of your attention, and even when you are not, even when you are sleeping, manifestation is happening. Manifestation is your ability to pay attention to things. So, for example, as I said before, I was paying attention to, I have to work very hard to make money. When I started paying attention to a different reality where maybe I can do what I like and still make a lot of money, the opportunities started showing up. So manifestation is not some woo-woo thing, because I know a lot of people can think that's exactly what it is, but it's just your brain. Your brain has an ability, it's called reticular activating system. Whatever you believe is going to be reinforced. Whatever you believe, you're going to find evidence of that. Nothing is really, reality is not objective. You see what I'm saying? Like, reality happens depending on how you see in the world. If you think that the world is a good place life is supposed to provide for you. You are here. You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to think to do digestion when you eat. You don't have to think, like, when you are sleeping, your body is recovering. You don't have to do nothing. So for me, the same process that your body does to recover is the same thing that helps you manifest. When you are in a flow state, things just come to you. So if you have never done manifestation and you want to get started, start by being grateful. Gratitude is the key. Is attention. If you pay attention to the things that you have instead of what you don't, you will get more, and you will see more things that are going well, and then it's just a butterfly effect.
That's awesome. And I'm a big advocate for gratitude as well. Like, and I find it really cute. I've gone back into my journals from when I was like 13, 14 years old, and I have gratitude lists. And I think it shaped me into the person I am today. But for people who haven't like actively practiced gratitude and they just think it's like an emotion that people feel, how can you turn it into a practice? And what like activities or rituals do you have around centering gratitude as like a part of your life rather than a passing emotion?
That's an amazing question, because actually I used to be a very skeptic, pessimistic person, and I wasn't aware of it. I thought I was realistic, as people say, or I was using logic, right? But I think, so let's say that you are in a position where you really believe there is nothing I can be grateful for. That is never the case. Like, that is just, again, where your attention is. But if you, what I did personally, have forced myself to say, okay, something has to be working, okay? Things cannot be that bad as I'm seeing them. So let me stop being so petty, sit down and say, okay, what can I be grateful for? My body. I'm healthy. I'm young. I'm intelligent. I have people that love me. I have a family that supports me. I have friends that support me and embrace me and cheer me up. Like, there are so many things that you can be grateful for, and something that helped me a lot, and nobody talks about this, but I had a couple of people talking about it. Go to nature. Walk in silence. It's crazy how little ability we have, especially lately with social media, attention span is low. Like, we don't sit down in silence. And when you sit down in silence and you just connect with the present moment, you can be grateful, because there is no future to be worrying about. There is no past that is defining nothing. You just present, and I think that when you also have to be like able to receive and open to receive. If you're in a state of no, there is nothing I'm great, then see what I'm saying? Like, I think you can change your life when you stop looking at your life from where you are, because from where you are it's difficult to be grateful, especially if you don't feel like it. But if you look at your life from like another perspective, you're like, oh, this is working, this is actually not that bad, this is this, and I'm in that part of the movie where I'm confused, but I know that I'm gonna get clarity. See what I'm saying? So yeah, sit down, stop talking, be in silent, and let it come to you. The gratitude will come to you. Okay? Don't force yourself, cause I understand it's not that easy sometimes, girl.
Yeah, especially as a yapper, sit down and be quiet. No. Okay, let's talk about how you took the bet on yourself. And you said that you quit your job and you went into social media and you started like from zero, right? And that's really scary because you have this survival instinct of like, I need it to work immediately for me to be able to pay my bills, to be able to survive. What will people think? That's a lot of like, I think people underestimate I, social media and having like putting yourself online and having an online presence is difficult, not just because of the time and energy it takes, but because of the psychological impact of like overcoming the fear of being perceived, overcoming the will it work, will it not work. That's a lot of mental work. So how did you do the mental work and trust yourself that it is going to work and just know that it's going to happen for you?
Okay, so I think that's also an amazing question. It happened in the process. So when I started posting, nobody was watching me. It was quite easy, right? Then when you start getting the audience, you maybe, as you say, you have that thing of being perceived and all of that. But I also thought it happened too late, because I've done too many videos, I've said too many crazy things. Imagine, I talk about manifestation, okay? I talk about things that not everybody's gonna resonate with it, but the people that does resonate a lot, because the people that know. Like, if you've experienced crazy synchronicity, crazy situations where you can see the reality matching your thinking, it's not so crazy for you. But I had to just think about it. Okay, what is waiting on me more? The fear of being perceived and the fear of being seen and the fear of me saying something that maybe in a year I'm gonna regret, or the idea of my ideal life and my dream life passing by and not doing nothing. So the fear of being seen or making mistakes was big and I still have it. That's never gonna leave you. Like some people think, no, I need to be more confident, I need to be motivated, I need to lose the fear, but that never happened. You just learn to use a higher force, a higher energy. And instead of paying attention to the fear, you pay attention to the adrenaline or the dopamine or serotonin, I don't know what it is, that doing something that you don't know how to do or you are scared of, that's more empowering and that's more powerful. It's like an alchemy. It's like you transmute the fear into willpower and you say, I'm just gonna do it. And a lot of people, you don't know the amount of people that say to me, I wish I was like you, things like this. But what they don't know is that when I was in high school, for me to talk in front of people, I would be shaking, sweating, like I couldn't talk. See what I mean? I had to brainwash myself to say, this shyness or this insecurity that you have for talking, it's silly because you are the only one judging yourself.
Yeah.
People actually, it's so open to help, to hear you out. Nobody's gonna scream at you if you get confused in one word or two. In a way, I use social media and all of the things that asks from you to overcome the fear of being seen. Like social media helped me with the social anxiety. It's crazy because people think I need to overcome this in order to do. No, when you do it before overcoming nothing, that's it. Your brain is like, ah, okay, I am this person. Because imagine if I'm on social media talking to thousands of people about crazy things that at the beginning, especially, they sound crazy, that thing of like I'm shy is gonna go because it doesn't match. There is no coherence on that.
And what do you do in the gap in between your brain catching up? Because I feel like that's something that I've been seeing a lot in my life of I have done the thing. I've done the thing. I started the podcast. I started the company. I've invested in myself and my health and everything. But sometimes your brain takes some time to catch up to this new reality of yours, and it's a bit scary because you have like a bit of an existential crisis in the middle of who am I. Um, it's lonely. How do you deal with that loneliness?
It is lonely. It is lonely, especially because I'm sure that you resonate with this. Most of your victories, nobody's there for you with you to celebrate them. When you have a victory, especially I don't know, let's say the moment you get to 1 million subscribers on your YouTube channel, you're probably gonna be alone in that moment when you see it on your computer. 1 million subscribers, you're gonna be alone. See what I'm saying? So it's about like enjoy the journey. This sounds super corny, but it's true. You see what I'm saying? It's like when I was saying before, when I was working in other jobs that were not social media, I was still able to be grateful. It's what they say, romanticize your life, right? It's lonely not getting the victory that you want, but don't look so forward to the goal because I promise you the goal is lonely too. I have all these followers and I don't feel excited and super happy all the time. See what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like, whoa. For example, I was in Manchester last week doing this TikTok thing, and when I saw my short film being played in that big screen and all that, I saw it. It happened so fast, and then I was in the train again, coming back to London, and thinking if I don't celebrate the small thing, and if I'm not able to connect with the feeling more than the thing, I'm just gonna feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna be able to keep that happiness. Like it's so short lived if you don't, like, for example, if I get a goal that you may have, as I said, the 1 million subscribers or something, if I focus too much on that, thinking I'm going to be happy when that happens, you miss so much happiness that is in the present moment. Enjoy the moment, enjoy everything. Everything is enjoyable. Enjoy it. It's going to happen anyway. You're going to get to your goal, but this present moment, you're never going to get it back. And I think it's a matter of understanding that you only have one life, and living it. The good, the bad, and the regular.
That's beautiful. And I kind of want to take back what I said because, yes, it can be lonely while you're navigating your kind of identity crisis. But at the same time, it's fun to take people along with you on the journey. And I have a friend who I met in Spain actually when I lived abroad. And I was going through a week of my life where I just didn't feel very good about myself. And I identified that that was happening. And I was like, no, okay, I'm going to, rather than waiting to be like the best version of myself or like dream woman or whatever, I am gonna just decide that every day I am that person. And I sent her a picture every day being like, dream woman energy is. Dream woman energy is going to the gym, is going to the grocery store, is getting this good thing. And she started doing the same. And so every single day for almost a year and a half now, we've sent each other those pictures. And it's created this beautiful friendship and this space of we can celebrate each other's wins. And I know that as soon as something happens that's good in my life, I can call her and I can be like, look, this has happened. And she is going to be so happy because she knows that her one is coming as well. And we've created that space. And I think that's beautiful because I want to talk about the lack mindset and comparison and with manifestation, like how you deal with seeing other people get what you want. Because that can be really hard. And there's so much advice on the internet about like turn envy into inspiration. And that's a great idea in theory, but it's a difficult thing to do. So, how do you do that? Like, I've shared that I do the dream woman energy thing with my friends, but what is your way of beating comparison and just staying on your track?
Amazing. So this, I think, is something that happens because of my personality. I am very aware of my uniqueness as a person. And I think that's something that anyone can access, like because everyone is unique. It's your reality, it's literally your world. And it's like training. Your brain is a muscle and you need to train it. Yeah, you're gonna have moments of saying, whoa, look, I want that car and this girl bought this car and she's not working, like how she got that car or something like this. But when you realize that, you know, like everything that you see is not as you see it exactly. You are doing an interpretation of that. So sometimes when my brain is going west or east, I just don't pay attention to it. I'm like, impressive. I literally say that in my mind, impressive, like impressive, because that's so silly. Like if you see someone that has something that you think that you want, that means that that's there for you. That is there for you. And the moment that you are jealous or something or comparing yourself, you are blocking it from coming. So the best thing you can do is just be grateful that you are seeing it, that you are identifying that you also want something like that. But I think that nobody can have exactly what you want because everyone is different. Like not two-person want the same thing. You may want the same idea. Maybe you also want to be a YouTuber. You also want to be a content creator. But when you are very connected with who you are, there is no competition. You already won because, bro, like a lot of people is just not aware of their uniqueness. They try to catch the trend, follow the next thing, and that's amazing because that strategy and marketing is part of the business. But there has not been a lot of time, and I would say never. I've never regretted just following my own path. For example, when I started on TikTok, everyone was like, you need to post all this time a week, you need to do this, you need to put these hashtags, you need to. I wasn't really following none of that, and it worked. See what I'm saying? At the beginning, I was thinking, what am I talking about on this platform? Like, what am I saying? Oh my god! Like, but I went with it and I said, I'm gonna trust it. You see, like who knows? I think it's just a matter of how hungry you are. And are you gonna let those things stop you? For real? I don't think so. If you really want what you want, you're not gonna let that stop you. And if you are surrounded for you, if you're surrounded like with people that's more successful than you, be grateful because you're gonna be next. And you should always aim to be surrounded by people that know more than you, that have bigger dreams than you, or that at least are on the same wavelength. See what I'm saying? I think that's why we are sitting here today.
That's so
For a
beautiful.
reason, in alignment for real. Like I had visualization of this kind of thing happening. Because when I started my TikTok, I knew it was gonna happen.
That's beautiful. And actually, the story of how we met is because her video came up on my TikTok feed and she has like quite a big following on TikTok. And I was having a party for my company, a launch party. and I love her content. And so I just messaged her being like, I normally you send like a cold email or like a text, like a hello, this is my business. And that's usually what I do. But I just felt like I should send her a voice note. I was like, this is someone I would actually be friends with.
Yeah,
And
and
I sent her a voice note being like, hola, because I speak Spanish as well. And it was just a bit chaotic, but so am I. And I said, like, I'm having this party, come if you want. It's gonna be for my company. I am trying to do a lot of similar things to you. I'm trying to help women. I'm trying to bring confidence and happiness into like the world and more creativity and all this stuff. Super random. That's not how I usually communicate with potential guests and stuff. And then she came and she was like one of the first, and she met my family and my friends, and then now we're friends and now she's here. And so this is again, I want to link this back to the idea of the pedestal, because you have a much bigger following than me. I literally have 30 subscribers. I love every single one of the people watching these videos, but most of them are people I know and they're people who support me at this stage. But you have a substantial audience, and it could have been easy for me to be like, oh, she's never going to respond to me because she has more followers than me, or she's not going to want to be my friend because she's ahead of me. And sometimes that's a thought that comes up, but how do you navigate the idea of the pedestal and putting what you want, whether that be a romantic relationship, and I feel like we should talk about that a little bit more as well, a friendship, a job, a thing. How do you take stuff off a pedestal and just realize that like you can have it?
this is an amazing question. I love this question because I talk about this in my coaching. I always say that you need to take your desire off the pedestal. The moment you fully manifest a quantum leap is a change in perspective. Okay, you change your perspective and you quantum leap into the reality that you want. It's when you make it normal. So when you make it normal, like for example, let's say you want that relationship that you want. You say, it's normal for me to be lucky in love. It's normal for me to have amazing friendships. It's normal for me to have followers, to have success, or because success is relative. But I think that, yeah, like the moment you normalize it, it's like it's normal for you. Your brain catches up faster than you think. And then that's it. You see what I'm saying? But I understand this is not so easy for people because people, is what I was saying before. You see your life from the perspective of where you are, and everything is on a pedestal. If you see it that way, like I'm here, I have no money, I have no talent. The money is on a pedestal, and this is on a pedestal. But you need to realize that without you, there is no dream. Without you, there is no vision.
Yeah.
If you are not aware with your eyes open, alive in the world, who is dreaming? See what I'm saying? Who, like, you, that's how you start thinking, actually, the things that I want me.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Mm-mm.
That's beautiful. That like changed something in my brain chemistry for a second.
I know that. I know. I know.
And I want to talk a little bit more about detachment, because I keep seeing like on spirituality, social media, manifestation, content, but also like on the self-development side, like detachment is so important. And for ages, I struggle with attachment because I'm not the most nonchalant person. I care very deeply about the things that I want. I'm very goal orientated, and I'm sure many of the people watching are as well. And I thought detachment meant that you remove the desire of something. You take the will to want something out. And that's a very difficult thing to do. And then I was like, no, that's not what it means. It's just the with or without it, I'm good. And then that also started to feel a little bit like not great. And what you said about normalize detachment is not about not wanting it. It's about realizing that like it's normal. And there's so many things in my life now that a previous version of me wanted, but now it's just normal. And so I guess that's what detachment means to me now. But what is detachment to you? And how do you talk to people that you coach about detaching from what it is that they want? Because I think that's one of the hardest parts of manifestation. And that's why people struggle with it, because they're like, oh, well, I sat there and I visualized and I imagined that I had this thing, and it's been years of me wanting this thing and it's not here. So manifestation is not real.
Detachment is the key for real because what you're saying is the moment that you make it normal. But I have a thing on detachment that helped me actually get in eco for years, and I guess in ways I'm still attached to personality traits of mine, people, situation. But I see it this way. Okay, so get ready. I think, and there is actually scientific proof for this. Reality, it's a projection, it's a mirror. is not really, like, you are never perceiving the whole of reality. So how can you say what is real? See what I'm saying? So for me, detachment happens when I realize something. Whatever I want that it's outside of myself is not real. It's an illusion. I want the idea of what I think I want. I want the feeling. So focus on the feeling. And if you want to get attached to something, get attached to the feeling, but not to the physical representation of what you are getting. Because then you're going to get disappointed. And I've been so many times like, I want this, I want this, I want this. It's going to make me so happy. The moment I get it, it goes like this because it happens quite fast. See what I'm saying? Like, if you want someone to act you out, how long does that take them? 20 seconds to ask you out. See what I'm saying? And then you go out and you're like, oh, I didn't even like you. Like, wow. So that's when I started realizing the power of detachment. Detachment means, is what you're saying, I'm good with or without it. Learn how to make your happiness dependent on what's inside of you, your inner world, how you see life. Don't make it so dependent on what happens outside because then rejection is going to throw you off. If something doesn't work, you're going to think that's the end, nothing is going to work anymore, it's done, I'm gone. No. If you are not winning, it's not the end of the game. I always say this thing. And I think detachment happens when, as I was saying before, you learn how to enjoy every step, every single step of it, everything. And obviously, I don't think we're never gonna fully achieve full detachment. Then that means you are enlightened, and that's rare, especially because we have the human condition where, we feel this thing to be very real. But if you put reality under a microscope, the smallest form of matter is the protons and photons, and they don't touch each other. Like 95% of the universe is empty matter, is empty space, is energy. See what I'm saying? So when you think that this is solid, it feels, but really it's not, even your body. So when you go down to these little principles and these things, you're like, what am I getting attached to?
Yeah.
Something fleeting. So the moment that you make your happiness depend on things that are temporary, your happiness is always going to be temporary as well. You get a high, and I've experienced this a lot, especially after getting things that everybody wants, follower. I don't know, I changed my looks though. I lost a lot of weight and I look so much better and younger now than when I was 15. It's crazy. So after getting or living abroad, I come from a small place where people historically don't have a lot of opportunity. So it's crazy because I had a time of feeling, as you say, very lonely because I felt like I leveled up my life in a way that I left everyone behind. And I look back and I was like, how can I bring you here? See what I'm saying? But you cannot do that. You just need to learn how to live your life without feeling that survivor regret. You see what I'm saying? And then, like, it's crazy. All of the things that I thought were gonna make me so happy. Like if you told me 10 years ago that I was gonna have all these followers and all this success, I thought, oh my God, I should be so happy. But really, it doesn't make you. It's just normal. And I think that the more you learn how to stay neutral in situation, the easier you manifest and the faster you manifest. So when you get a victory, yeah, you can get happy, but be careful because the same amount of happiness that something gives you is the same amount of sadness that it can generate in you. So detachment happens when you are like, hey, it's normal. Again, it's normal. It's normal. It's not that deep. It's normal. Wow.
Wow. And what about like fear? Because you can want something but be scared of receiving it at the same time, which is very contradictory energies of desire and fear. Like you can want to be famous but be scared to be famous. You can want that dream relationship but also be scared to have it. You can want that dream body but be scared that you won't be able to maintain it, or it will open you up to criticism and vulnerability. So how can someone remove the fear from their desire as well?
I don't think you remove it. I've never experienced not having fear. You don't remove it. And in fact, the moment that you realize that you don't remove it, it's like the fear loses the power that it has over you. You're just never gonna get rid of it. Last month when I booked my flight to Tenerife, every time I'm about to travel, I get like, oh, everything has to be perfect. Like I'm a bit of a control freak, okay? And that's crazy because you are always in control. You are never losing control. It's just your perception. But that trip especially taught me a lot about fear because I was very scared. I don't even know why. I didn't know why at the time as well. But I was feeling scared. And I still feel scared in many situations in my life. Like sometimes you get this existential fear of like, why am I doing this? Social media, for example, what's it gonna be in the future? What am I doing? Retirement, trust fund, like you see what I'm saying? Like you start thinking of so many things. But the moment that you realize you're never gonna lose the fear, you start moving a bit more recklessly in terms of I have the fear, but it's not gonna stop me. Like I'm still gonna do what I want. In terms of relationships, it's scary. Especially me when I am with someone like well, especially me, no, I feel like every single woman we give our soft side to that person. You are so vulnerable, so open, like with your feelings and your emotion. It's scary, but at the end, is what I was saying before. You choose the fear to stop you, or you choose something else to move you forward. And what is your priority? To protect yourself and stay in your comfort zone and stay safe, or to say, hey, I'm actually going to try something new. Who knows if this is the time where I'm gonna realize how lucky I am in love or how lucky I am in this or that. The fear never goes. Don't wait for that, guys, because it doesn't happen. You just learn how to move with the fear and it loses power over you. It doesn't have the power to stop you anymore. And that is a win.
Let's talk about manifesting love, because you mentioned that with the fear and the relationship, and I think when you see all manifestation content on the internet, like a lot of it is either about love or it's about money. Like, and I think love is something that a lot of people struggle with. The idea of a relationship, and I think with money it's slightly easier because you can kind of see if someone is where they want with their money because there's visible markers. But with a relationship, you also don't really like know, because someone's relationship can seem one way and all these kind of things. So there's a lot of methods on the internet of like manifesting. You can do the list thing, you can do the vision board thing, you can talk to your water, you can do the 6 6 5 5 9 9 3 3 method. If you were telling someone who is sitting here being like, Gara, I want love so bad, I just don't know how to get it, I don't know how to get my person, what would you say to them?
So this is crazy because I have like parts to this answer, right? So obviously I can talk from my experience, not from what I haven't experienced, okay? And in my life I had two relationships. The first one was, my teenage relationship before I knew about manifestation, before I knew any of that. I was very lucky, I think, at the time. I had, a nice boyfriend, like he was a skater, it was like that dream teenage thing. And then something happened, okay, in 2018, because we were together for like 3 years before I came to England. Before I even knew I was gonna come to England, we went, him and I and his family, to like a trip in Paris. And that was one of the first moments when I was like, someone is looking at me. There has to be a camera somewhere. Cause we went to Paris, like central. We went to the Tower Eiffel. And we were in the Tower Eiffel, in the top of the Tower Eiffel, okay? And then I get a message on my phone asking me, are you this guy's girlfriend? Tararara, no sé qué. And I was like, what is this? I've never been in Europe. I've never been in the top of the Tower Eiffel. And the day that I'm in the top of the Tower Eiffel, I'm having an amazing time because I'm up in here, but then I'm seeing this message. I want to throw this guy off the tower, and I don't know what is going on. You see what I'm saying? Like he was talking to someone, no sé qué, no sé qué. So in that moment, I had a moment of, I couldn't understand what was going on, but I knew something very good is going to happen to me. This is a sign. This could have happened to me in Tenerife. It didn't. It happened in the top of the Tower Eiffel. I was like, I'm not going to be defeated in this situation because I'm a superstar. This is main character thing. And back then, I didn't know about main character or manifestation or nothing. I was like, okay. But also, I wanted to break up with that guy so many times before that happened. And I didn't. So the universe was like, I need to make her noise. I need to be noisy so she realizes. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And the universe was like, okay, how can I get this girl to listen? It's really me. You are the universe, by the way. It's really me. So who knows me better than me? And my higher self was like, this way she's gonna listen. This way she's gonna get the message. So that happened, and I was like, ooh, all right. I'm a person that I always give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm actually not giving ultimatum. I'm not the kind of person to give ultimatum. I give them to myself. I don't give them to people. So it's like we kind of made up and you know, like we talked the thing and everything, so we didn't break up immediately. But a year later, without me planning it, I was living in London. A year later, I was in London. And then I met someone that was the person. I remember saying to that boyfriend, the Paris one, saying to him like, you don't have energy. Like you need to have more blood, more energy, more movement, more footwork. What's happening? And after leaving him and coming to, I didn't leave him to come to London. I came to London and we just stopped talking. It was so weird. Like I entered in a different dimension where he just wasn't here. And then I met someone that was exactly the guy that I was thinking in my head when I was with the other guy. See what I'm saying? So that's when I started clicking things. Like, why am I, when I met this guy, I remember saying to him, like, bro, you don't understand. But I created you. Like, I made you. And obviously, I met him, and that was the time that I found out about manifestation. And I was like, I'm going to manifest the relationship to be perfect. Because he was quite a nonchalant guy, or I perceived him to be that way. But he really wasn't. It was just my perception. I was projecting all my insecurities on him. See what I'm saying? So that second relationship, I would say, is the one that really taught me how to manifest love. And now here's my answer, okay? Because we've been for like 5 years in this relationship where even me right now, my self-concept has changed so much, because this is what I want to talk about, okay, when it comes to love. And this is what I wish someone told me at the beginning. As I said before, don't focus on the object of your desire. Focus on the feeling, on how you want to feel. I had so many times with this guy where I was feeling like I was chasing him. This is not working. I don't feel enough. And the moments where I was feeling better in myself, that's when he was so onto me. Everything was working out. Everything was easy. We didn't have arguments. I felt like I was the only girl. So what I'm saying is like, manifest yourself to be the person that everyone is trying to manifest.
One more time.
Yes. Manifest yourself to be the person that everyone is trying to manifest to get. Become the dream girl. Manifesting a relationship is amazing, but when you do it from self-concept, saying like, I mean, yeah, I want you, but look at me. You know, I'm funny, I'm sexy, I'm cute, I'm rich, I'm pretty. Like, when you work on falling in love with yourself in that sense, all the guys, it's not just the one that you want. It's not just the one that you want. Like, I manifested celebrities that I had crushes on to talk to me and invite me to dinners. Okay? Like, I'm being for real. Like, this thing is so crazy. And all of that happened when instead of me thinking I'm gonna be valuable when this guy pays attention to me, I started paying attention to myself and thinking, hey, you are sexy. You are cute. And that's when everything happened. And also, something that happened as a consequence of me changing my self-concept is that, as I was saying in the past, I would have the thought of breaking up with someone and I'd be like, I can't because their feelings, how they gonna be feeling? What about me? What about me? I'm putting myself last all the time. So what I do now is, even if I don't want to break up with someone because I'm attached, but if I have that thought of I want to break up with you, I'm gonna do it. I've walked away from that relationship, the second one, so many times, and it's actually amazing because the time where I'm walking away, I'm like, I don't want to be with you anymore. And then 2 months go by, and then he comes back, or he comes back and he says something, and I'm like, oh, okay, I like you now. That makes you feel like you are being chased, like you are the prize. See what I'm saying? When you are not afraid to walk away. And that's a consequence of self-concept. That's why when people say to me, what is your biggest manifestation? I always say, me. Me and how I feel. Because you don't know how difficult it was for me to walk away from situation. Like, it was difficult, like I couldn't. Even if I didn't want to be there. Now, I don't prioritize the other person emotion, I prioritize mine because everything is a mirror. How are they going to prioritize me if I don't prioritize myself? See what I'm saying? So I've experienced a big breakthrough in terms of love. When I started manifestation, I was 19, and everything I wanted was for someone to love me. And then I realized how lucky is someone for me to love them. And that changed the game. That is the thing. But nobody tells you this because it's not intuitive. Intuitively, we women, we want to nurture, we want to go, we want to say, we want to talk, we want to explain, we want to say why we are so worthy and so amazing. And trust me, the more you work on your self-concept and you manifest yourself to be the version of you that you want, because you can change your personality anytime. So when you work on doing that, you're not gonna attract toxicity, toxic people. You're gonna repel them because you have self-esteem. And people that are manipulator, narcissistic people, they it's like cats. Cats don't go and hunt a fox. They hunt little mice, right? It's for a reason. So it's the same thing. If you wanna be somebody that commands respect on autopilot, you need to respect yourself and say, if I don't feel you, I don't care. Because before, what I would do is like, if I really like this guy for so long, I have to stay with him because I wanted him so bad at some point. No. It's sexy when you say, I don't want that anymore. And they are like, well, everybody wants me. And you're like, I don't. That I'm telling you. People don't have the ability to walk away. They are afraid. And you need to release the fear of losing someone. Don't lose yourself.
That's so beautiful, and I agree with that. But at the same time, how can people listen to that advice and still choose themselves without hurting people, like intentionally? Because I think that there is definitely a way to choose yourself, but communicate your boundaries in a respectful way.
Yeah.
And I think that takes time to learn. Like when I was a bit younger, I found it hard to do boundaries. So I would either people please or I would ghost. And there was like there was no balance. And with age, I've become much better at like communicating my boundaries and being like, this works for me. This doesn't work for me. I don't want to be in this situation anymore, but I still care. I still loved you. You still mattered. I don't want like this anymore. Not because you are a bad person, but because this situation doesn't serve me anymore and you don't make me happy anymore. So how can you do it out of love rather than out of like ego, basically?
So again, I think this comes from a place where you are aware of yourself. You need to be aware and kind of know who you are and how you come, and know yourself as if you were someone that you are taking care of. And whatever you feel like you need, learn how to provide that for yourself so you can always be aligned with the best reality. Like, I broke up with this guy, as I said, a couple times, but then we came back together, not because I felt forced or he felt like I was punishing him or something, but it happened naturally. Like, it's what we say before, it's normal. We have chemistry at the end of the day, so it's gonna happen naturally, right? But I think that something super important, especially to know if you are coming from ego or if you're coming from genuine soul level transformation, is like when you communicate these things to the person, look at their first reaction, the first reaction that you see, and don't necessarily change what you are doing and your decision because of the reaction. Sometimes you don't know if it's ego or if it's soul something, but you need to listen to yourself. And I think that you always know. And sometimes when you start get like second guessing too much, like, is this the ego? Is this me? Is this what is this? That's when you get confused. See what I'm saying? If you want something, act on it. And if it's a mistake, you will learn from it. See what I'm saying? But like, there is no way that you can respect people's emotions or people's feelings or anything if you are not aware of your own first. Like, it's impossible. And I learned that throughout this journey and everything, that the best way to be of service to other people, and that's my love language, acts of service, I think, is to take care of yourself. Like, literally take care of your emotions and be responsible. Because if you want to break up with someone and you don't, then think like, what happened to me in Paris happened. And then if you don't listen to the lesson, like, I feel like in life we come here to learn. This is like a big university, okay? And if you don't learn your lesson, the universe is gonna make you more noise. Like, it's gonna get so noisy until you realize this is an illusion. Like, the more you base your happiness in things that are happening outside of you, you don't learn your lesson and you try to buy people's love, the more noisy it's gonna become to you, like it's gonna get painful. But it's not to make you suffer, it's to make you grow. That's everything.
And you made a very interesting TikTok I saw once. I think this is one of the ones that made me reach out to you. And you said something about the universe is not testing you. Like, because you just said that, yeah, the universe makes a lot of noise when it's angry, and it needs to teach you something. But you are the universe as well, you said earlier. So what is this whole thing about like tests from the universe? Because that's also something that's said a lot in like manifestation, TikTok and Instagram and YouTube content. What do you think about tests from the universe? How can people navigate them and how can people pass them?
Okay, so when I talk about the universe, I talk about it, obviously, the universe. It sounds like I'm talking about something that's outside of you, but it's just your higher self. I think that we are in human condition, okay, which means under your human condition, you don't have access to higher thinking. You are trapped in delusion, betrayal, sickness, disease, mind stuff. The moment that you realize that there is, like, as I was saying before, you don't have to think for your body to do certain things, digestion, uh, growing up. Like, you don't go from 15 to 30 thinking, I'm going to grow another year and I'm going to grow now. It happens naturally, right? So I think that it's just you. Your subconscious mind is connected to your higher self. You see that? You see that? That's the universe saying, yeah, it's me. It's me. So it's exactly like, I think it's just your higher self. So when you perceive that the universe is testing you, you are the one testing yourself. It's not really the universe. Or when I say this thing is gonna make you noise, it's not that the universe gets something from that. Or no, I'm just talking about your higher self. Like, it's like your soul, okay? So your soul knows you and knows how to get your attention. So if to get your attention, you have to go through this pain that's very specific, like for example, okay, let's say that you have a belief that in every single relationship you always get cheated on or something like that, okay? This happens to a lot of people. You're gonna get cheated on because you believe it, so you can become aware that you are creating the pattern. See what I'm saying? So I think that's just your higher self. Like, I think that we human condition here, we are a bit sleeping, right? But then when you are able to understand that we are in a perfect universe, like it's crazy. Like, there is a higher intelligence that created the sun, the moon, the stars, the sea, the currents of the sea, like all of these things. And when you use that to co-create and you understand that you are co-creating, that's when you realize the universe is not testing you. Okay? It's not here to test you, to see, to catch you. No, it's here to help you. But it's gonna feel like it's testing you when you just ignore everything and you making your life more difficult because of your beliefs and your bias and the things that you keep on thinking, and your fears and your obsessive thinking and the need to control absolutely everything. You are already in control. There is no need to control nothing. It's a paradox. It's crazy. Because as I said, I have control freak tendencies, okay? And I realize this thing. You are already in control, so there is no need to try and control nothing. The more you understand that you are always in control and you feel in control, you inspire that confidence where it's like things just come to you. You become sovereign of your life. I've said this so many times. You become sovereign. You stop waiting for someone to love you to believe lovable. You stop waiting for someone to approve you to feel approved in your own reality. Like, you need to, at the beginning, this is so delusional. Because I remember when I started changing my mind and my thoughts, it was weird to me. I used to think like, who do you think you are? And now I'm like, I am who I said I am. Like, it happened. But you need to walk through that. Nobody's gonna come and say to you, yeah, you are that girl, you deserve to be loved. Nobody's gonna come and tell you that. You need to be the first one to put that on paper. But yeah, the universe is not testing you. It's you. It's you. Like, and if you actually think about this, you'll be like, it's me. Like, how do certain things happen? It's like, for example, if you get very pissed at something, it start happening a lot. And you are like, why is that? Because it's like this higher self is showing you that you are the higher self. Like, this one is crazy. Because if you have experienced this, you know what I'm talking about. Where you start seeing all the synchronicities and all the relationship between what you think and what you see. At first, the way I discovered about manifestation, it was because I was manifesting everything that I didn't want. Like,
That's so interesting. And when you say that you are the universe and you're co-creating, I think that links to like authenticity, because in order to manifest what you want, you have to be the most you, right? So you can be magnetic. And you are one of the most authentic people I have ever met in my life. Like I really feel like you said you're very unique. And that comes from like effort on your part of like not conforming and like self discovery and being like, who am I and how can I keep that frame of being myself? So, how did you like carve out this distinct identity for yourself? Number one. And number two, how do you stay confident in it when people are so different from you, when maybe you don't conform to the typical beautiful beauty standard but you know that you're beautiful, when you don't conform to the way that people speak or do things but you know that you do it the best way for you? How do you show up as you and do it the most fearlessly?
So, as I said, a lot of the success that I've had is because of trial and error. Like I've tried, I've done a lot of experiments and things like this, and I've noticed that the more vulnerable that I am, instead of trying to hide myself, I just open up and I pretend that I'm comfortable even when I'm not. I found that that's the way that you connect with that security and that confidence. It's like this is actually such a good question. Like the more that you, okay, let's say that you are afraid of speaking in public and you just go and do it and you see the reaction of people and you see how, oh my God, like I was scared of doing this thing, but then I did it and everyone loved it. Like, wow, what is that? Oh, so like coming on TikTok and I started making that content and I saw the response of people that people had. For me, that was me. That was the universe, my higher self. That was me saying like, look, yeah, so that experiment worked. See what I'm saying? And it's a muscle. I think that confidence and authenticity is a muscle. And in a world where there are so many copies and people is just trying to be all the same, this is this is really being a millionaire. Like it's richness. See what I'm saying? To be yourself. And it's crazy because before I used to try so hard. Like I thought I had to try hard. I don't know why, where it came from, but before I thought I had to try hard to be liked, to be accepted, to fit in, and I still wasn't feeling like I was fitting in nowhere. And now that I really don't care, now that the opinion that I care about the most is mine, it's like everybody wants to be around me. I meet amazing people that resonate with me, like and I can tell you I'm getting paid for being me, which is crazy. That is crazy for me to say because I come from a background of effort and hustling and tarara. But right now, I really feel like I get paid for being me because I have different jobs. I teach Spanish. I work in vintage sometimes. Like I don't do just social media because, as I said, I really like people and I love to be the person that I just have my ex in different things. But it's crazy. Like authenticity comes with a lot of like, for you to be authentic, you have to. Mira, something that I did that helped me a lot. It's journaling. At the beginning, I started journaling and it was very, very difficult for me because it was very painful. I had to put out all the demons before I could call any angels in. You see what I mean? Like I had to put it out. And then I remember it happened in COVID. I feel like we all went through that in COVID and quarantine where we had to be locked in with yourself. There is no escape, there is no stimulation. I personally, me, part of the, mm, not majority, but a part of the quarantine I did it in Spain. And it was so much, way more strict than in the UK. Like you couldn't go out. If they catch you outside, you need to show why you were outside. Like it was very crazy. So I wasn't going out. And also I was watching the news a lot. And I understood conditioning in that time because I was so conditioned to be scared. So in order for me to escape all of them demons, I started writing them out. And when I read it back, I was like, I am in this reality because of the way I talk to myself. And that's the same time that I started writing down, after I wrote down all the demons, I was projecting then, okay, so now that I'm leaving this behind, what do I want for the future? And everything that I wrote down happened times 10, times 1,000, okay? Which is crazy to me. It's crazy to me because sometimes I still go back to that same journal, and up until now I haven't stopped writing. And I think that writing is one of the most, whether it's poetry, scripting, affirmation, or you had a bad day and you just write it down, or drawing, or like it's an amazing way to change the narrative that you have inside of you and to change your story and to really connect with the authenticity. You have to understand you are writing your story. There is no authenticity without ownership. There is no authenticity without ownership. You need ownership. You need to take ownership. If somebody else is writing your story for you, there is no possible way for you to feel authentic. You're always gonna feel like you have to do something else. You have to pretend, you have to mask who you really are. And the moment that I stopped doing that, like for example, I'm a person that all my life I felt like I was very bitchy, but in a good way, okay? Bitchy in the sense of I get what I want and I trust myself. But at some point in my life, I had to put that down. I felt like, and that's not true, you know. People is never gonna, insecure people, yeah, but the people that you want in your life is never gonna put you down because you are confident. That's why I say being authentic is your protection. If you are a bit like that, if you're a bit assertive, be it. But I learned in my environment maybe that that wasn't very good, you know. Don't be assertive because people is gonna think that you are arrogant. Don't be assertive because people is gonna think that you are all of that. But at the end of the day, why you always gonna be adjusting who you are to make other people comfortable? That people don't feel comfortable in that setting. It's crazy because I can really feel the difference from the time when I was trying to please people from to now. People is trying to please me. That thing is crazy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. I really liked what you said about authenticity as ownership. That's something that I kind of knew intuitively, but like had never been put into words. So I'm sure that's going to help other people as well. And what you said earlier about struggle and unlearning struggle is something that I think is so important, and it's something that is talked about a lot on social media because you see content of people being paid to exist and having all this stuff, and then like people who are watching it sometimes feel alienated because they have learnt through school, through their family, through their community, through their experiences that you can get what you want if you work really hard. And I think that's something that I'm also learning, unlearning as well, because the kind of school I went to, you got good grades if you worked really hard. You got to a good university if you worked really hard. You could have whatever you wanted if you worked really, really, really hard. And I'm starting to learn that hard work is a good value, but when you put it as this like moral pedestal of like, I must struggle to get what I want, it just like takes the fun out of life, you know? You're allowed to have fun. It's allowed to be easy, it's allowed to be fun. And that's an affirmation that I have been telling myself recently because that's something that I've been struggling of, like allowing it to be easy and allowing it to be fun. So how did you let it become easy and fun for you?
So I've always been a very good, like even when I was studying, a very good student, top of the class. Um, I was very connected with the hardworking thing, and even after I left uni and I came to London, I've been working hard. I've had like I think that 10 different jobs before social media, and I'm still a person that I love to be productive. Like I have a very my sense of self is very connected to what I do, which is something that I'm still working on because your sense of self and your sense of value should be connected to who you are, not just what you do, right? What you do. But I like it that way. Like I like that my life and my work, everything is feeding off each other. I love it because I don't like I like it that way because I think it makes my work better. But at the same time, it's like you need to understand that even if you say I get paid to exist, okay, and that's an easy job for you, maybe for someone else that's actually super hard to do. So you're not gonna start working less hard. It's just that it's gonna be easier for you. Because people say to me, Gara, how are you in England? How do you do social media? But how are you doing this? Gara, whoa, qué discipline. And for me, it's the easiest thing in the world. See what I'm saying? So I think that's the point. It's not just to, because what about the, see? is telling you, hey, but that a sign, like that's literally like it's urgent, okay? Get with the program. So what I was saying is like, don't think that you have to stop liking to work or whatever the fuck or whatever. Just like learn that learn how to love the hard work that you do so it doesn't weigh on you so much.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or learn to fall in love with that process because me personally, it's not that I don't want to have fun or I want to work super hard, but I want to make hard things look easy. Like that's a flex. You see what I'm saying? Like es que this is something that I don't see sometimes, but because people say to me, I'm like, that's how manifestation works. I'm doing something that for me feels like nothing, but everyone outside of me is like, what is she doing? Like when I went to Manchester, for example, the people in the event told me, you are the only one that said yes to come all this way so far. And I'm like, what? It's just taking a train. Like, what do you mean? I love to travel. No pasa nada. Like, see what I'm saying?
People ask me all the time how I am juggling university, launching a company, having a podcast, training for a half marathon, going to the gym, having a social life, practicing for my driving test. I was like the clown doing everything, right? But I liked all of the things I was juggling. I loved my degree. I still love it. I loved my company. I love this podcast. I love sitting here with you is not a chore. It's something that I love and I enjoy. And so I think like to add to that, it's about discovery and trying to add as many things into your life that give you energy. And this is not going to 100% give you energy. There's days where editing the podcast, I can't get the hard drive to work or the SD card doesn't work and it's draining. Or same with the company when you have to like do some admin or whatever. But in my experience, if something brings you net positive, like if it's net happiness, then it's something that like brings you energy and can really like fill your cup. And it's about what you said with alignment. So one of my last questions for you is, for people who don't know what alignment is, how can they bring themselves more into alignment?
Amazing question. Amazing, amazing question. Let's see if I can answer it because this is very felt for me. But then when it comes to put it into words, but that's my job at the end of the day. So I think alignment is accepting your gifts, accepting that maybe you don't know how to use them, and still have the intention to do so. So alignment can look, for example, like having a social media page. Sometimes I feel like the social commitment of coming to my phone and talking to people because I know that a lot of people rely on me and what I say, and that's an honor for me. I feel flattered. I don't take it for granted. Like it's so beautiful to think that people feel better after hearing me saying something. So my page has helped me in moments of confusion, pain, suffering, or despair, or anything where I thought, I cannot come to social media like this and talk to no one. How am I going to talk to no one if I'm not feeling good? But in that same moment that I have that thought, it's like it comes naturally. Like I say, no, I can't do it. And then I instantly get the thought of something to say to someone or a message or a video with an insight or something. So for me, that's alignment. Alignment is accepting, wow, I don't feel like I can do this today. But then realizing that that's the cure, that's the healing part, is to think that you can. And using, like, my page right now is like my baby. It's like my passion project. It's the thing that keeps me going forward. If I'm having a bad day, the reason that I have to get out of that funk, it's my page, my community, my people. Like, so I think alignment, because for me, alignment, like the past 3 years have been thing after thing after thing after thing, like as if everything is just being put in my way for me, crazy, like crazy. And I think alignment happens when you are able to be present. So alignment is like when you know this is meant for me. I did this. This is meant for me, no doubt. And I think that happens when you are able to stay present, see the opportunity, align with the version of you that you are now, understand that's the best version of you that you can be at all time. It's the best version of you that you can be, is the one that you are. And when you convince yourself of that, that's who you are. Because when you engage with this kind of thing, that you create your reality, that you have the power to change circumstances, you're gonna find yourself in alignment. And alignment is just feeling like what is outside of you matches your inner world. When it's misalignment, it's the same thing. You feel like this thing doesn't match what I want. Misalignment. But you are also aligned with the misalignment. Like you are creating that. See what I'm saying? So alignment is just being in the right place at the right time, feeling like that lucky person. And that is an identity. Alignment for me is an identity. You are the alignment. You are always aligned, like the stars. The stars don't misalign. They move. Things move. The constellations move. The planets do their movements, but it's always in alignment. So even when you are misaligned, you are aligned. There is always alignment. But yeah, like just don't be afraid to be vulnerable, to take ownership. And even in the moment where you don't know, there's always something good that can come out if you are just open. If you say, I don't know, but I'm willing to know.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. We started with the theme of gratitude. I always end the podcast with the theme of gratitude. So my last question for you is, what are you most grateful for today?
I think I'm grateful for you because I really feel like, when I started, I know how valuable it is to support people when they start from the beginning. So I'm grateful I can do that for you. Like I love that. Like I love to I'm the kind of person I get inspired by stories. And I know that a good story can inspire you to change your life, to change your trajectory, to dream bigger. As you said, your brain chemistry. So I'm grateful that I can come here today, tell my story or some of it, share it with you, share it with your people. And I'm grateful for language and communication because it's a beautiful thing. It's the translation of the soul. It's like I can translate all the frequency of my spirit and channel all of the things that I've seen, because really life is truly magical. Like it's so beautiful. And I'm grateful for the coffee I had this morning, the sausage roll I had this morning, and such a beautiful day in London. And London is not always so sunny, so grateful because it's a beautiful day.
Grateful for the sun. Grateful for the sun. I hope that it's a sunny day when this comes out and everyone else can enjoy as well. But thank you for listening. I'm so grateful. And there were so many moments in this conversation where I was like, whoa. So I really hope that this resonates with the people that it reaches. And thank you for listening.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And thank you, Mahika.